Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm Dr. Whitney Schneider-Klein, Department Chair for the UNK Communication Disorders Department, and our online graduate program is what we're looking forward to talking with you all tonight about. This is an open house style, so it's fairly casual. We have a brief presentation that we'll talk through. I have some of our faculty members and a few of our current graduate students on with us tonight, so maybe I'll let them introduce themselves a bit before I go much further. Dr. Lai, would you like to go first?
Hi, everybody. We have folks from all over the place, so um, greetings from Nebraska. My name is Dr. Philip Lai. This is my 8th year here at UNK. I teach both at the undergraduate and graduate level. For the online students, they usually take me in my class in their 3rd year. My background is I'm a researcher by heart, and I study young children with autism spectrum disorders. My interest sort of lies between looking at communication as well as the nonverbal communication like facial expressions and gestures. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Dr. Lai. Mrs. Moody?
Hi, I'm Laura Moody. I'm the Director of Clinical Education at UNK. So I always say that I get the best part of your graduate program here at UNK is getting those experiences out in the clinical field. So I'll be talking more about that as we move on tonight. And then again, you can always reach out to me if you have questions after tonight.
Thank you. Jamila, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello. I am one of 2 online academic program advisors, previously online coordinators that'll be mentioned in a lot of the documents. Amanda Keating is the other online academic program advisor, and I help with coordinating placements mostly.
Thank you. And then we have 3 of our current graduate students. Holly, would you like to introduce yourself first? Maybe share what year you are, where you're located, anything else you're interested in sharing?
Yeah, for sure. Hi, my name is Holly. I'm a 2nd year graduate student here at UNK. Currently, I am in Southwest Florida, Fort Myers specifically, so a little bit below Tampa. I am also an SLPA at a multidisciplinary clinic, and yeah, this has been a really great program for me so far.
Thank you, Holly. Rachel, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Rachel Zolke. I'm also in my 2nd year here at UNK. I just forgot what I was supposed to be saying.
Where are you located?
Oh, yes, I am located in Norfolk, Nebraska, so about 3 hours from Kearney. And I currently work as an SLPA for an educational services unit. So this program has been great because I can work and be in the program. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Megan?
I'm Megan Like. I'm also a 2nd year graduate student, and I am a stay-at-home mom of 3 kids, and I'm not working, but doing school part-time and doing the mom thing full-time.
And where are you located, Megan?
Kind of outside Dallas, Texas.
Thank you. Awesome. So that's our team that's going to share about the program with you tonight. And we will also have an opportunity for you to ask questions. Oh, is Dr. Grothaus on as well? Do you want to introduce yourself or pass on that opportunity, Dr. Grothaus? I'm going to assume she's passing unless I hear otherwise. So that's totally fine. Fantastic. All right. Well, we're here to tell you about UNK's online graduate SLP program. It is a part-time program that spans 9 semesters over 3 years. We will look at the requirements for the application and the 2 locations of where to apply next. Our application for the program is due January 15th. Let's see if I can. Yes, I'd like to leave Canva. Thank you. All right. Can y'all see my overview screen? Okay, fantastic. So within this page, which we will share this presentation with all of you, it has the program description. Our admission requirements are outlined here. So essentially, we're looking for an undergraduate degree in some field plus leveling coursework, or a bachelor's degree in SLP or communication disorders. We have an undergraduate requirement of a GPA of B or better, average. Looking specifically in the communication disorders coursework is perhaps of greater interest to us, and we're looking for a GPA of B+ or better. Obviously, if you've had any graduate coursework, we're looking for success there. We do require 3 letters of recommendation, and I know that oftentimes we prefer those to be academic in nature, but if you've been out of school for a while, that can be really hard and not very meaningful anymore. So that can be professional references that you have outside of the classroom as well. So if you can have academic references, great. If not, professional recommendation letters work. We also like to see a resume so that we can see the experiences you've had that you bring to the table. Our application is holistic, meaning we're not just looking at GPA, we're not just looking at those letters of rec. We want to consider you as a whole and all the strengths that you bring to the table and see if you're a good fit for the program. To assess verbal communication skills, we have what we call a video interview. It is recorded, so it's the interview term feels a little loose, but essentially there's a prompt that we include in the application, and then you're given the opportunity to record a short video on YouTube as a response to that prompt. Again, essentially so that we can see you have strong verbal communication skills. We have guidelines there for international students, and then we also have a written statement. I don't know that that's clearly outlined here, but we're looking also to see your written communication skills. So there's a prompt for a personal statement as well. And those are all submitted to our graduate office and considered by the CDIS department. We have a UNK application basically to show, hey, I'm applying to the UNK pool of applicants here. What information is collected through the UNK application is very demographic in nature, mostly again just to get you in the system so that the school knows to process your application and admit you, or if that's the decision that happens. But the bulk of the information for your application will come through the SIDCAS website. Again, this is linked in the program or the presentation that we'll share with all of you. And that's where you'll upload that YouTube video, upload your resume, and respond to other questions that are a part of the application. This shows the coursework that's required for the online program. You can see it's just outlined here. It is 56 credits total. Sometimes that gets a little altered depending upon programmatic needs or what coursework that you have or haven't had to date. But overall, it's 56 credit hours. We looked at those, the coursework. Again, it's 9 semesters, 4 practicums, and 2 internships. So the first year of our program is really just coursework. And then the last 2 are when you will have that practicum and internship experience. And I will turn the mic over to Mrs. Moody to talk about those.
Sounds good. So as Dr. Schneider-Klein mentioned, your first year will be all academic coursework, and then in years 2 and 3, you'll complete clinical practicum experiences and internships. We have 4 practicum experiences, and those are meant to be part-time. So you have a small caseload you start working with. We have estimated that you'll spend around 8 hours per week engaging in a practicum-like experience. That can be scheduled a couple different ways, whether it's 1 full day or 2 half days, and that can look different for you from semester to semester. Then in your last 2 semesters, you'll complete 2 different full-time internships, and that's more like a 40-hour-a-week commitment. The first one is typically in a school setting, and we do have an option here where you can do that 3 days a week for 50 days, or you can do it 5 days a week for 50 days. So either way, you're going to be out of school the same number of days. But again, we have a little bit of flexibility for that school placement. And then for the last one, it's a clinical placement, and that is 8 straight weeks full-time experience. One of the most frequent questions we get is students asking about being an SLPA while they complete these experiences. And yes, you can do that. We want students and are beholden to ASHA that we get you a variety of experiences. So you can't only be at your SLPA position for all 6 of the clinical experiences, but we have students use their SLPA positions to be a part of their program in a variety of different ways. I think we can go to the next slide.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Maybe. No?
I thought there was one more. Must not be. There you go.
Sorry. I do have a link to our faculty site here. I don't know. We won't spend a ton of time looking at all of our wonderful faculty that we have, but you can take a look here and see who's on board. You've met myself. I teach primarily at the graduate level in pediatric courses like speech sound disorders and our reading and writing class for school age population. We have Dr. Moore, who's a duly certified audiologist and SLP, who teaches an elective course at the graduate level. Dr. Ghazi Saidi is our one of our adult-focused teaching faculty in the program who teaches aphasia and cognitive communication disorders. Again, Dr. Grothaus is active in the online program. She's our online academic advisor and also teaches courses like diagnostic methods and motor speech disorders. And then a lot of these other lovely ladies that are listed here are clinical educators that would not necessarily be a part of your online program. But you can see Amanda, I don't know where Jamila went. Our website seems to be a little off right now, but under construction perhaps. So the next slide in the presentation walks through the ASHA EdFind website. If you've not seen this yet, it's a great place to learn about different programs. You can search by state, by online program, you name it. But you can find some more information here about our program. The data is a little skewed because it captures our online program and our face-to-face program in the same pool when we really review them separately. So they're divided in real life and combined on ASHA because we're just accredited under one program. But that might be helpful to check out. And then I also like to just throw out, hey, this is where we are physically located. Not everyone in the world knows where Kearney, Nebraska is, but we are right in South Central Nebraska, right along Interstate 80. So 5 hours from Denver, 3 hours from Omaha, kind of in the middle of nowhere, but we've got a pretty great campus here. So just wanted to highlight that. With that, I think I would love to open it up to questions, and if there aren't any to get us started, I'd say we can ask our students to share some, but are there any pressing questions that any of you potential students want to ask?
So it's a 3-year program, right? And does that go through the summers or do you? Okay, it does.
Yes, it's a fall, spring, and summer semester, each of those 3 years. So it's 9 semesters across 3 years.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
I'm a special ed teacher, and I'm just curious, do they recommend taking time off from work while you complete your like the last 2 to 3 practicum experiences? Yeah, okay.
I'll let Mrs. Moody respond to that, but
Yeah, we've had other individuals who are teachers, special education or other grades, and that first year, most of those teachers have maintained a full-time schedule. During the second year, you'll need, like I said, about 8 hours a week dedicated to going to a practicum placement, and so oftentimes that results in needing to take some time away from a full-time job to do that, depending on where you find a placement and maybe even what your school district allows as far as that kind of flexibility goes. That last spring semester, when it's the full-time internship, is when students have had to take time away from work and have either a different kind of work scenario or really gone to part-time in order to make it all work. And then that last summer is a totally full-time experience. So it is important to note that. Dr. Schneider-Klein, I don't know if we mentioned the 1 week on campus that is included in the program.
Thank you. We did not. So I mentioned that the first year of the program is classes. And then, so you start in the fall, have classes in the fall, classes in the spring. And then in the summer, one of your classes is called CDIS 869, Clinical Competencies. And it's kind of a precursor to Practicum 1. And it includes 1 week on campus. So I should have mentioned that when I showed you that great map, that if you're in the program, you get to come to the middle of Nebraska for a week in the summer and experience both pediatric and adult clinical interactions so that we can see that you have basic clinical competencies and essentially you're ready to go learn from a professional in a practicum placement in your geographic location. So thank you for mentioning that, Mrs. Moody. It looks like we have a couple of questions in the chat. For the SIDCAST application, it is just for the online. So if you're interested in the on-campus program, which is a full-time 5-semester program in Kearney, that is just a UNK application. It's separate. And then if you're, again, applying to the online program, you complete a very basic UNK application as well as the SIDCAST application where all the information is housed. And our program is part-time. We at this point are not large enough or fully staffed enough to speed it up any more than we already have it. So our offering is a part-time option and it's not really intended to be full-time or completed any quicker. To our students, what is a class you've liked best in the graduate program or one that you thought was most beneficial? Pay no attention to your instructors that are on the call right now, okay? Do any of you have something that comes to mind immediately?
I can answer. We took speech sound disorders, and that one was pretty good, just because that's what I'm kind of working on right now in my practicum placement. And so it makes a lot of sense that I have that knowledge and I can actually use it now. So that one was really good. And then like the diagnostic methods class, that was good. Dr. Grotehouse is a really great professor, and so that was a good class too.
I think the one that I benefited from the most was the clinical competencies course where we had our week on campus, because I hadn't really had I mean, I worked as an SLPA, but I hadn't had the chance to really dive deep into clinical work like that, and being able to be on campus with my cohort and getting to know everyone and also getting outside of my comfort zone was so beneficial for me before I started all of my practicum placements.
I also, not to piggyback off of Holly, but I really enjoyed that week on campus. Getting to know everyone was really beneficial. I also really liked reading and writing. Oh gosh, I took that a year ago. But I really enjoyed that one because my daughter has dyslexia, so I could even like just that real world experience of, I saw that going on in my own life, so it was really beneficial. But even now, I'm starting in my practicum to really use some of those tools that I had learned, yeah, just in what I'm doing with my students. So it's really beneficial.
Thank you. I'm trying to find where my other presentation content went. We had a question about the cost of the program. I will pull that up. And note that these are the costs for the program this academic year. It is subject to change every year, but currently our tuition is $842 per credit hour, regardless of where you're located, and then there are a few fees listed there as well. So that is the cost information. We also had a couple of questions for you, Mrs. Moody, about the clinical assignments. Are there any restrictions on states where we can be located? How does finding placements work?
Yeah, I can talk toward that. So students are primarily responsible for locating clinical opportunities, what do I want to say, potential placements. You all know where you live better than we do, and so we do definitely work with you and collaborate on that. We have a module that we use to help support you through the process that we have developed, along with how you can reach out to people, the wording that you can use, and we have a few guidelines based on what your course offerings are and kind of the process. So everyone typically starts with a pediatric placement because you haven't had enough adult coursework, and then we add additional clinical opportunities as your practicums progress. So students do a lot of the initial looking and even reaching out. We have our online academic program advisors that support you in the process and facilitate all of the paperwork when we find places that say, yeah, we can have a student. The restrictions as far as geographic locations, so far we've just found places where we can, wherever we can. We have found a few places that are more difficult than others, and especially for those connected to the military, we know that we can't predict that, and so that might be more of a one-on-one conversation I'd be happy to have with anybody who that applies to. But so far we've been pretty great at scouring the internet and making connections and asking people for placements.
I will say, at this time, we are not able to accept students that are currently located in California, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Washington, or West Virginia. And that has to do with licensure restrictions. So if our program doesn't set you up for success in securing state licenses in those states, then we can't accept students there. So it's a protective device so that you're not enrolled in a program that doesn't get you what you need at the end of the day. So those are the states that we're limited from accepting in. But again, we have had students that start off in one of the states that's not those listed. So they get accepted because they live in Texas or Florida or somewhere that we do accept students from. And then, military or whatever takes them somewhere else. And so far we've been able to sufficiently place people and get them what they need. But that is a caveat I wanted to mention.
And one more note, someone specifically talked about New York. In areas where there are concentrations of programs, it is true that it is harder for us to find placements because in those geographical locations, sometimes they will lean on just accepting students from for instance, like especially in New York City, that's a really concentrated area. And so I would say that your best opportunities are going with schools that are there because they have the best connections. We have a growing network across the nation, but if you want a one-on-one consultation, I'd be happy to talk with you individually about that. That sometimes does have an influence.
There was a question about online classes. They are completed completely asynchronously, other than that 1 week on campus in the first summer. But I don't know if any of you students want to speak to what the course setup has been like and maybe kind of navigating the expectations or time management associated with them. Not all three of you at once, please.
I would say, honestly, coming from someone who's a mom, I am a mom too, and so I have three daughters and they need to get places. You just have to be really intentional with setting time aside to do your work. I mean, it's just like going to school, so you have to set that time aside. And obviously my husband helps a lot so that I can do the homework that I need to do. My job also lets me do my homework at work. So that's really nice because it really is a part of what I'm already doing. So that's been really beneficial. But yeah, I would say the biggest thing is just you have to set aside that time to do it.
Thank you, Rachel. Anything to add to that, Megan or Holly, or did you capture it?
She
I
kind
think
of got what I was
that's
gonna say.
Okay, that's great.
yeah, you just gotta set aside some time and just make sure that you get it done. And I mean, you have the schedule ahead of time and you know what the due dates are, so you can kind of plan ahead. And some of the classes you can work ahead, and you just gotta stay on top of it. But like even, I mean, Rachel has 3 kids, I have 3 kids. I don't work, but I only have childcare for a couple days a week, and like I get it done, but you just got to figure out what works best for you.
Thank you. There have been some financial aid type questions. We do not have a ton of specific scholarships for our online students. There are some annual scholarships that our grad students are eligible to apply for, but unfortunately they are relatively limited. There's only a handful of them and they're not very large in comparison to what the overall program costs, but every little bit can help. That really is why I think we went with the part-time program, because we know there's a need for some income to kind of balance during this program. So that's my not great answer there, but I'm being honest with you. Any other questions we can answer?
Right. Can you share? I know you guys mentioned quickly about it. If we are already working as an SLPA, you mentioned that we can get some hours completed at our workplace at a certain points.
Yes, when you're completing your practicums, you can obtain clock hours as long as those hours are gained with appropriate ASHA within the appropriate ASHA guidelines. So your supervising SLP
Uh-huh.
has to be on site and in the building with you. That's
Uh-huh.
usually our first thing that sometimes isn't always the case, but that's one thing. They have to have their ASHA CCC SLP.
Uh-huh.
They need 9 months of experience after getting their ASHA Cs, and then they need supervision CEUs. And we can send free online CEUs to meet that last requirement. That's the easy one. But yes, you can collect clock hours as long as you have appropriate supervision with an SLP who meets ASHA guidelines.
Okay, and that's usually during the second year of the program, correct?
Yep, correct.
During the second year. Okay, so that's and then the last year we're pretty much full time, and then in different settings, correct?
In the third year, your fall semester is still part-time for clinic. And then in the spring semester, it is a school internship, and that one is full days. And so you have to achieve it's actually 45 to 50 school days in order to meet the minimum requirement for that placement. And so some of our students attend 3 days a week. That way they can be an SLPA the other 2 days a week. And some of our students choose not to work at that time and they go for 5 days a week. It just depends on, you get done a little earlier in the semester if you do 5 days a week, and it takes the whole semester if you do 3 days a week.
So pretty much there's only pretty much only one semester that we're completely full time, correct?
Yes, yep. The year 3 in the summer.
Yeah. Oh, and that's usually in the summer, the full time one.
Yes.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
Good.
That's good.
Thanks, we do too.
Yeah, no, that's so convenient. I currently work at the schools, and I also have as an SLPA, and I work as an SLPA outside of the school, so that works beautifully. Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a question here about submitting more than 3 letters of recommendation. You absolutely can. We will only rate 3 of them in our analysis for the admissions process, but you sure can. We've had students do that where, okay, I have two professors and then two professional references that I can include, and that's totally fine. Again, we'll probably look at the academic ones and one of the professional ones, but you sure can. What is your acceptance rate? Oh, that's a really good question. I feel like the ASHA EdFind kind of gets at that. We received 178 applications last year, and I would say about 130 of those were for our online program. And we are targeting, we got a cohort of 30 last year. So I would guess, Dr. Lai, help me remember stats here. You think like out of 130, did we admit maybe 50 or 60 of those straight up?
I think that sounds right.
Okay, so close to 50%. A little under that for the acceptance rate. So we typically admit about double what we're looking for, knowing that all of you are likely to apply to multiple places. Again, shooting for that target size of about 30 in a cohort. We also offer, so it's either you'll get a decision of admission, waitlist, or deny. We often tell people who are on the wait list, don't get discouraged. We make it to our wait list most years and offer positions on our wait list pretty consistently. So it's not a done deal when you get that wait list. You literally just have to wait for a while for us to sift through who's going to be there. Yeah.
And also on occasions, some students do drop out, and so we back into the wait list. So that does happen as well.
Great. Another question we have here, are certain things in your application that make you stand out as a strong applicant? Any suggestions there, reviewers? I don't know, Dr. Lai, do you have any input there?
Some tips here. Just I think in the personal statement, I think it's if you want to address any issues, that's the perfect place to address any, like if you had a tough class or a tough semester, just let us know. So I think that could be very beneficial to you. Also, when you do the unlisted YouTube video, if you record and you sort of make a mistake, just redo it. Don't don't do one take and upload. So you have you can practice, right? So I think that's another tip. And I think let's see what else is there. If there's anything else, I'll let you guys.
Yeah, I think the details matter when we have a lot of applications. I would make sure you're proofreading, making sure there's no, all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed and everything's grammatically correct, that sort of thing. You're coming across as a professional. That's really what we're looking for. So those little things matter. Jamila also commented here, several of the students that were not considered last year were those that didn't complete all sections of the application. So be thorough and accurate in your application for best consideration, I guess. I also mentioned your resume matters earlier. Like, we're looking for those extra things. So if you work in a school, if you've volunteered at a nursing home, like, what outside experiences have you had that have prepared you for this experience and make you a good candidate, I think is something else that we're looking for. Applications are due January 15th. There's a question on when to hear back about all that. So we try to be pretty quick in our turnaround on that. I would say beginning of March at the latest. So it takes us a few weeks so after January 15th, here's what happens. There's a processing period where those applications have to go through the system and kind of finalize. So we can't just review them January 16th. So we have to wait a little bit for everything to be gathered. Then we all meet and review them. Well, we all review them and then we meet to make those decisions. So we give our faculty a couple weeks to have time to actually sift through those hundreds of applications to see, who's going to be a good fit. So again, we shoot for a meeting about a month after, and then letting you all know once we have those decisions made. Usually it's end of February, beginning of March. Pass rate for the online program Praxis. Oh, I'm so glad you asked. We have that posted on our website, and it might not be on this website. Sorry, I had the online program pulled up, but our student outcome data. So we are a relatively new online program. We've only graduated 2 cohorts, and we're in our 5th year of existence here. But for our first 2 cohorts that have taken the Praxis, we've had good success in them passing. So that is above that national average. And again, saw a pretty good increase from year 1 to year 2, and hopefully that's just continues to be the case. All right. Anything else we can tell you? Any other questions for our great students that are on?
I actually live in Kearney, but I'm interested in the online program for the part-time aspect. Is there any way that I would be able to utilize the benefits of the campus being here while doing the online program?
I would love to talk to you privately. We have long considered kind of a hybrid program, and perhaps we could figure out a way to capitalize on your location and the online part-time program as well.
Okay, I will email you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Excellent question. I'm taking the prerequisite courses now. I'll be done by summer. Should I apply or wait? If you're ready to start in August, I'd say apply. We have students that are wrapping up those leveling courses each year that are considered, and then again, ready to start off right in August. So, yep, go for it. All right, keep those questions coming. I also think I failed to mention at the beginning, we intend for this to be an open house, so it's a come and go as you please. If you feel like you've gotten the information you need from us, excellent. If not, feel free to stay on. We'll probably cycle through the presentation again and start over here in a bit so we can make sure we've captured everybody's needs. But again, happy to answer questions if you have them before we start all over from the top. Thanks for joining us. Question here about if I don't have all the prereqs done, is there a way to start in the fall? Yes, we like to see that you have the majority of them completed. We do have students that have a few of those deficiency courses, is what we call them, that they are still able to take in addition to the grad program. It does kind of push the limits of our part-time program and make you a little bit more full-time as a graduate student, but it can be done.
I have a question again. So I mentioned that I am a special ed teacher currently, and I want to do the online, hopefully grad school with UNK. So the first year I could definitely stay online, second year stay online, but that third year I'd probably need to talk to my workplace and say I need to be lowered to part-time. And then the summer semester, it's completely full-time. I'm a little worried about my income if I'm not working.
Yeah, and we have had others bring that up. That summer semester is meant it is a full-time experience. So you're working what a typical SLP would work in that medical setting for a minimum of 8 weeks. We require 8 weeks. Occasionally placements will want a little bit longer than that. That's fairly rare. So 8 weeks full-time experience. Again, it's in that summer semester.
Oh,
We
that's
have had
perfect.
students, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, the full time in the summer would be great just because
Yeah.
I'm in a school. So I have the summers sort of off.
Yeah.
We've
And that,
also
yeah, no, go ahead, Mrs. Moody.
We've also had students, again, not knowing what your specific situation is. Some of them have been, again, a teacher for their first like 1 or 2 years and then transitioned into an SLPA position for their third year so they could manage the practicum plus the part-time, well, the 3-day-a-week internship schedule. If that would assist with, that transition in the school year, but then yeah, it'd be in the summer is the full-time placement. Or you can add Dr. Schneider-Klein, the other option.
Yeah, I was just going to say we've had teachers go through the program that are able to work full-time that first year and then either drop back to a different role in the school or work part-time in another capacity. But teaching full-time while doing those practicums is going to be really challenging.
Okay, thank you guys. I feel a lot better.
Good. Question here about the course setup. So we do utilize Canvas, and that's our platform. But the courses are all asynchronous other than the 1 week that is on campus that first summer. So otherwise it's asynchronous, and I don't know, like our students shared, it's kind of you have to plan things out, make time to get things done and stay on top of it. But that is how that works.
Can I add in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a lot of times then those courses are set up with a variety of readings and video mini lectures and a lot of different things. So there are different modalities available within the Canvas courses as well.
And I think there's a growing set of tools and resources available through our platform. I know I've started doing some new assignment types in my classes that really engage students and connect them, or at least that's the intent. I don't know. Holly and Megan, you're doing my social annotations this semester. Maybe they're not, but that is kind of how we get students to collaborate asynchronously.
I can actually speak to that too, Dr. Schneider-Klein and Mrs. Moody. So one of the things that I've learned I teach online, but I also teach face-to-face with the students at Kearney. And what I've learned is a lot of the online asynchronous folks really like to have that interaction with students, and they like to see that. So I will post both the face-to-face recordings that we do, for example, in diagnostic methods on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I will post an audio lecture. So students who prefer, excuse me, to listen to just the audio lecture, they have that option, and others who prefer to feel a little bit more interactive. That's some of the feedback I've got. So it's kind of an option where you can listen to both. It's kind of choose your poison. I've gotten different people saying, I love this, I don't like this. Other people saying, I like this, I don't like this. So I've just decided to open it up, and it seems like it covers lots of bases there. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Mrs. Moody, another one for you.
Yeah.
What does the last summer internship end, and what does that look like if I want certified to work in the schools?
I can speak specifically to Nebraska. I will tell you it varies state by state, and again, would be happy to look at your state. But this summer, graduation will be on July 31st. The Nebraska Department of Education is not super fast in processing their certification applications. However, they do have an interim certification that people can apply for that gets them able to start August 9th or whenever school starts here in Nebraska. They're allowed to get started right away while their paperwork continues to process. Other states require state license only. They also have a provisional license available in most states. So that is the typical experience, I guess I would say.
That kind of leads into another aspect of the program. Mrs. Moody and I do meet individually with each student in the first semester of the program to help them navigate what their state requires, so that's clear. And then we suggest that students moderate that or monitor that throughout their whole program in case anything changes in states. That seems to be an ever-changing state of affairs. But to see what's required for that licensure and certification, if that's part of what's involved in your state, and to make sure that you get what you need from our program so that you're ready for the end of the program.
I see that next question about the UAA partnership. There is University of Alaska Anchorage. We've worked with them that individuals living in Alaska, we've been able to collaborate and have students in Alaska do their clinicals through UAA. Dr. Schneider-Klein, how do you feel about, do we need to know ahead of time? Usually if we see your address as Alaska, we just think, oh, that's going to work great.
Yeah. Yep. No, I think just providing your address in Alaska is great. Thanks, Jackie.
Hi, I'm Tanya. I'm from Nebraska, and I actually was a teacher for 10 years, and I went through Kearney, and I got my bachelor's in K-6, and then I got my master's through curriculum instruction. I actually stepped away, and I'm currently in a dental office, and our office is our doctor is an airway dentist, and we offer myofunctional therapy, and I've started to dab in that. And so my stepping away from education, but seeing the medical and tying it all together has inquired me about speech. And so I just want to make sure, I just hopped on here. I was looking through, and so I apologize if I don't want to waste your time or who I need to talk to specifically. I just can't remember like the prerequisites and all the things. I just kind of hopped on for that letters of recommendation and stuff. Do I just go on here to see how to get registered and online, or I've been out of the loop for so long, I can't even remember how to do it.
So are you wanting to take the online like leveling courses to
Yeah,
get
that's
ready
what
to apply?
would that be something I could do, I guess was my question.
Yes, absolutely. Jamila is one of our online coordinators. You can email her or myself, and we will get you hooked up with the right people to get that started. We have a leveling advisor, Mrs. Wilson, who will, again, she and Amanda and Jamila work closely together to review transcripts to see what you need, and then they'll help direct you in the right way to get you what you need for applying to grad school then.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on. Glad you found SLP. That's a great story.
I'm reading that question about the living in Colorado and working as an SLPA. Yes, you can complete, you can work as an SLPA in Colorado, and it can work with your practicums, your clinical experiences within our program, as long as it meets the ASHA minimum. So kind of to repeat that, the SLP that you work with would need to meet ASHA requirements, be a CCC SLP, and also be in the building whenever you're acting as a practicum student. So yes, it is an option. There are a few other guidelines that we would want to explore before we can make it all connect.
And I think on the flip side of Jackie's situation being in Alaska, where we don't need you to say anything, as someone that's currently in California, I will need you to indicate that you intend to move and that you won't be in California during the program in order for you to even be eligible for consideration. So make sure that is a part of your application.
And Dr. Schneider-Klein, we had a couple folks who did just that. I know military folks and things who've done that. So that's worked out well, as long as they indicate that in advance. That's a good way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we serve, like, Holly and Rachel and Megan were chosen by design. They're very representative of students in our program, working as SLPAs, being parents. And then we've had military spouses throughout too. I think those are kind of our niche areas that this part-time program really serves well.
Yeah, I think between Mrs. Moody and Dr. Schneider-Klein, they've figured out a lot about military things and all the needs of different states. So you're in good hands.
We've learned a lot, that's for sure. All right. Yeah, thanks for hopping on. Is anybody relatively new want us to start back at the top or have additional questions specifically? Happy to cater to the needs of our smaller audience here.
Okay, in this downtime, I just want to give a shout out to Rachel and Megan and Holly. Hi, guys. Good to see you.
I know, greatly appreciate them taking the time.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's just fun to see them because
No,
we
it
are
really it
asynchronous,
is.
so we don't actually get to see each other very often.
I know, I'm not teaching any classes with you guys. I miss you guys. Rachel, what?
Rachel, Megan, and Holly, biggest tip for applications or selecting a program? What are your words of advice to these applicants?
I was really looking for flexibility. I will always be a mom first, at least until my kids are grown. No, I'll still always be a mom first, but so I just really needed that. I needed the part-time. I needed the flexibility. I was also going to share, which I don't know why I didn't share this before, but when you asked what my favorite class was, probably when I got to go study abroad.
Oh yeah. Oh, man.
Like,
Forgot about that, huh?
yeah, right. So that
We
was
do have a study
Followed
abroad
closely by
option.
diagnostic methods and motor speech, right, Rachel?
right.
Okay.
So that was a really cool opportunity. But yeah.
Great. Thanks for sharing it now.
But I don't know, Dr. Schneider-Klein, did you talk about that with the study abroad yet? Like that's
No.
do you want me to speak to that for a sec?
Yeah, go for
Okay,
it.
great. So for those of you still on, we do have a study abroad component that we are offering. And as Rachel mentioned, I think, was it last year you went or 2 years ago? Just this past year? Just this past year? Okay. Yeah, and so the Czech Republic, UNK, University of Nebraska at Kearney has affiliation with the Czech Republic. Specifically, it's the Olomouc, and it's in yeah, it's right kind of. Where'd you guys go? You went to Prague, you went to, where else did you go, Rachel?
And then we went to Austria, and
Yeah.
then we went to Brno and some other small towns around Olomouc.
Yeah. And I think you guys were gone about 7 to 10 days. When I went, it was about 7 days, and we try to work that in. We're collaborating most likely with early intervention with education for this next cohort, but in terms of that, that's definitely an option. And Dr. Schneider-Klein, that would be an elective,
Yes.
correct? Yeah. And we offer it to undergrads and graduate students. So it's a great experience. It's something that you can, as Rachel mentioned, it was her favorite class. So there you go. But yeah, I think that's something that's kind of a highlight of our program in terms of just how we try to expand horizons a little bit and give insights into things. I believe you guys toured, did you tour the School of the Deaf? You did, didn't you? And the rehab unit? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Any insights on that? Any thoughts?
The most interesting part was probably how when we got to meet with the like college, when they were talking about how much they pay, but then how different it is even than just how we go to school. I just thought it was interesting. There's a big disconnect there between like their clinical SLPs and their school SLPs. So I thought that was
Definitely. Yeah. But it's good to just kind of see that global perspective of things of how, there are speech pathologists, there are logopedists, there are people who do all kinds of stuff, but just kind of that broad perspective of where you can go with your degree, I think is important. And in the era of trying to encourage, cultural and linguistic diversity and awareness of all that stuff, we as a department and as a college really try to push that. So thanks for that, Rachel.
Any other advice, Holly or Megan?
I think one thing is like just piggybacking off of what we said earlier is time management is just super important for any program. but since this is online and asynchronous, sometimes it can feel easy, like, oh, I don't have too much to do. Like you really have to sit down and outline, this is the time that I'm going to do these things, and then I'm going to sit down and do these things a little later if I have to go to work after this, just ensuring that you are taking the time to plan out what you want to do and when, I think definitely helped me succeed in this program.
Good advice for sure. Megan, anything to add?
I just remember like when I was looking at universities, like there was a few part-time options and a lot of full-time options. For me, I knew part-time was what I needed to do, but like I think if students are able to do the full-time, I mean UNK is great. I love it, but like if I was able to just do the full-time, like just think about that too. But for those that work, for those that are parents, or like if you just need to have a slower pace, I mean this has been really good to have it part-time. But you know, time management is still important. And I think there was a semester where I was technically like considered full-time hours, so it still can be pretty busy, but just just figure out your schedule. And um, as far as like picking which program to go into, just look at all the details because most of them have it online and you can see what the differences are. I know with like UNK, we have a lot of support. I can email like everyone that's on here, all the professors, I can email any one of them and I know that they're going to get back to me and they really care about me as a student and as a person. So like I just don't know if other universities are like that, but that's been really great to have.
Thanks for that, Megan. I was going to ask one of you to talk a little bit about Loper Lunch, like when you guys come for the summer, because I know a lot of people, Holly, you smiled first. You know the rules. If you smile first, you're on, girl. What are your thoughts? What did you think about that?
I loved Loper Launch so much. I said it before, I'll say it again. It was definitely an eye-opening experience, but it was one that I needed because it got me out of my comfort zone and it got me doing those things that I needed to learn how to do for the practicum placements. I loved working with all of the kids. It was definitely, it wasn't something that I experienced before. I mean, I had been a part of summer camp programs in the past where I'd been an instructor, but doing it this way it was very rewarding, and I enjoyed being able to go into all the labs after Loper launch. That part of the day was over, and learning things hands-on rather than just looking at the screen.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think all three of you guys, those of you who are on, I think you really had some aha moments clinically. I think a lot of you are like, wait a minute, I may actually like adults. Rachel, Holly. So that was fun. And as I mean, I think I'll speak for Dr. Schneider-Klein and Mrs. Moody, but I think that we all really love having you seeing the students live in person. It puts a face with a name and it really kind of connects us with you and we understand. And to your point, Megan, I really do feel like I want to ask how your boys are doing right now. And I know that's not appropriate, but yeah. And same with you, Rachel. How are the boys? But and Megan, or Holly, I have questions for you too. But I think you really kind of get that connection with people that I've worked at lots of other places and I've never felt that at anywhere other than UNK. So I think that that's really kind of a unique thing to be able to, yes, it's a lot of work to come on campus in the middle of summer. And yes, it's hot. And yes, Dr. Schneider-Klein has the bug spray and Mrs. Moody has the hand wipes and it may be windy and it may be, hard to get clients sometimes to show up, but it's an experience you can't really, you can't replace unless you just show up for it. So
Yeah.
thanks for saying that.
It's great. When we first started the program, it was one thing that we were like, do we really need this? And then after doing it once, oh yeah, we need this. And it does. I think our first year courses are great and connect the students, but after that week on campus, they're a real community. It really develops that sense of togetherness after spending that week fully together.
I know one of the things that I found to be surprising as we entered into this endeavor was that when we all met the very first time, I felt like I knew everybody because of these online connections. It kind of reinforced the fact that like, oh, we do all know each other, and it helped deepen those relationships, but it wasn't 30 strangers in a room. We all knew each other. We were just getting to know each other better. It's been a lot of fun. Oh, good question about the Loper launch. Yeah, the week on yeah, that's the speech camp that we run during the week on campus experience.
So we do Loper lunch in the morning, and then in the afternoons, there are adult experiences, which include cognitive and hearing screenings. And then there's also labs to kind of supplement the online classroom. We know there's some things you just can't do online, so we like to have some hands-on learning opportunities while you're here as well to supplement your online coursework. Good. Well, we're down to the last handful of guests here. Are there specific questions that you have? Again, did you join late and you want me to start from the top or?
Okay, last question for me is for those people that are online, is there any type of cohort where they do ever meet in groups to on Zoom or anything like that, just to collaborate?
I saw some nods from our students. Again, I don't know. You guys speak. What have your experiences been?
I've met with
Rachel.
I've met with well, I've met with some even before like our whole experience on campus, like through Zoom. One of the girls last year actually did like a little like Zoom get together kind of thing where we all, I mean, not to say this, but we all maybe had a special beverage and we, just we actually sent cards to each other. I don't know if Holly or yeah, I don't know if they were a part of that, but yeah, that was really fun. So yeah, there were other opportunities, and then we also met to like study. So yeah.
We've had like a few like phone calls and like some Zoom things with each other. Academically, we have like a group chat that we're all three of us are on, and then most of the cohort I believe is on there. And we talk to each other on there, just about whatever, mostly academic stuff, but we've also done like a little Christmas thing last year, so a little Zoom party that was fun. But yeah, there's some good connections that you make, and it just kind of grows as especially after our week on campus.
Good. I didn't know you did that stuff. That's great. That melts my SLP mama heart. Oh, that's great.
Okay, and just asking for clarification that the week on campus, is that first like summer, so after the first year? Okay, that's
Yeah, it's a part of that CIS 869 course.
Oh, okay. Thank
So
you.
it kind of serves as a precursor to practicums.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And it's an 8-week course. It's not just that 1 week on campus. So there's content leading up to the week on campus and content that follows the week on campus. But yeah, it's all to kind of, again, prep you for starting those practicums and doing more hands-on learning.
And for me as a follow-up, as an online instructor, it's my chance to kind of do the things that I did with the face-to-face folks, or Dr. Schneider-Klein did with the face-to-face folks with the online students. There are a couple things I could say like Q Interactive and things like that, or the labs, or actual dysphagia hands-on screenings, but it kind of gives the chance to put the rubber, I guess the rubber meets the road, is that what I always say, Dr. Schneider-Klein, where it's just like we kind of get hands-on when we can. Versus, when we're doing it virtually. So.
Yeah.
And Rachel, not to pimp you out a little bit, but how far are you from Kearney?
I'm
You're
like
close.
3 hours.
Right. So Rachel's close. Megan's in Texas, right, Megan? Yeah. And Holly, you're in Florida, right? Yeah. So, I mean, we get folks who are from like Nebraska, but also folks that are from other parts. So I just wanted to kind of emphasize that even, and we've had several folks, I think those graduating. How many do we have, Dr. Schneider-Klein, from Nebraska that are online? That's still like several, right?
Yeah, there's been a handful every cohort.
Right. So I think that that's an
Yeah.
important thing like online doesn't mean far away. It can mean far
Yeah.
away. We've had Alaska, but we've also had Lincoln. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean you have to be far away to do it. So sorry,
Okay.
Rachel. Kisses. Yeah.
It's good. All right. Anything else? Hannah, you said it was your last question. It doesn't have to be your last question. We're here to answer them all.
I do have a question real quick.
Great.
I am at UNK right now,
Great.
and I want to make sure I do check all those boxes on the grad application because just to make sure, do I just go to my advisor for all those questions and making sure I'm doing everything correctly?
In the application itself,
Yeah. I
or
mean,
to prepare for that?
I'm in the application right now. I just
Okay.
am not sure about like some certain stuff on there, and I just want to make sure I'm doing it correctly.
Sure. Yeah, I absolutely think you could ask your advisor for preliminary advice. Any of us on the call, I think, would be happy to help as well. So if you have specific questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Maybe I can lead off with one question maybe somebody might know, but
Yeah.
it does mention like the transcripts
Mm-hmm.
and it says like a transcript entry and then there's like a professional transcript entry. Does
Yeah,
any
so for that CIDCAS application, you, I think, can manually input like what courses you took, to have it informally documented. And then I think, Jamila, do you know how that works for sure? Then we don't actually get the official transcripts in the application, right?
I am actually not positive on that.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that you can enter the coursework you've had and all of that is then confirmed after the fact. And then Rachel, Holly, Megan, do you guys remember how that worked? No? Okay. That's all right. I would have to look in there specifically to see what those directions are, but I think we accept informal or unofficial transcripts for the application, and then we get the official ones when you're actually admitted.
Okay.
Does
That
that
does
make
help. Thank
sense?
you.
Does that
Yeah.
answer the question?
Yes, I think my
Okay.
biggest fear is I'm just doing something wrong.
And I honestly, like, I don't think it'll let you, really. I think
Yeah.
it's foolproof. I think you just have to, again, make sure you do all the pieces and then you'll be fine.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Sorry, that was like a non-answer, kind of. Like, I
Isn't that,
think,
that's right
but
though, isn't it, Dr. Lai? Isn't that right? Like you can do a traditional and then you can submit the formal. Isn't that right?
I think that's right, because you have time to submit your final.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
think
you
so.
can submit it and then you can add to it is after you actually submit it, Hannah. I think you're in good shape.
All right, thank you. I just think I overthink just a little bit.
No,
It's a
we love that. We love
chronic trait,
overthinking versus
SLPs. Yeah,
underthinking. We
yeah,
love overthinking.
yeah. I'm trying to think of what else we might have forgotten. I feel like we've hit the major topics as well as our frequently asked questions along the way. I think the advice our students have provided is great as far as time management goes. I often tell students, you get out of this what you put into it. So the more prepared and organized you are, the better off you are for success in the program and also just as a future professional. So yeah, that's my parting words of advice here. But yeah, again, we're happy to stay on and answer your questions, but I don't know. Yeah, tell me what else you need to know, I guess.
I do have another question.
You're good. What is it?
So I am taking, I think, diagnostic methods, I think in the spring.
That would be fall, but be afraid, be very afraid. Go ahead. It's
So it's only offered in the fall semester.
Okay, is there like almost like an undergrad that you can
Would it be the teaching
Oh, maybe.
assessment?
Oh, TE 319?
I'll have to look at
I
my,
guess, are you a leveling student, Hannah?
yes, I am.
Okay. So have you
I think
had
there's
like
2
speech sound
classes.
disorders or professional issues?
Maybe professional issues.
I bet that's it.
Okay.
That's one of those prerequisite courses that is good to have coming in because that's one less thing you need to take during your program then.
So I would just have to take one less class during one of these certain.
No, no, that just saves you from bringing in a deficiency course with you. So it's
Okay.
not a part of our graduate program, but it's an ASHA requirement that you need. So our students typically take it as undergrads at UNK. So yeah, it's good to get it completed sooner so you don't have an extra course during the graduate program.
Oh, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Hannah, I was just joking. I teach diagnostic methods for the first years, so that's why I was
Okay,
like,
I thought so.
no, no, no. But I
I
think
heard that.
what you're saying, that's specific to once you get in the program, so that's why I was joking. But I think what Dr. Schneider-Klein was saying was it's something similar but different title.
Yes, I was just confused because she has 2 on there and it says that you could take it during the grad school.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a few of those that are not officially part of the leveling program, but if you have time to take them beforehand, it's a good idea to do so.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. All right. What else can we tell you? It's like playing the quiet game. I lose. But I don't know what else to say either.
I could tell you one of my favorite things that I've observed just this semester.
Great.
This group of students that are on here, you're all in your practicum 1, and there was a recent conversation about from some of you who are SLPAs and how you were nervous getting into your practicum 1 because you were going to be getting all of this feedback and things, and that really it's been really great. So I just really loved that even those who are maybe have been SLPAs for a while are still learning new things. It's not just a continuation of what you've been doing. And so it was a really fun conversation that happened in class.
That's great. All right. Well, if there are no additional questions, I think we might call it a night a little early here just because I think we're running out of things to share. But again, happy to stay on and answer any questions you all have.
I just wanted to thank the 3 that popped on. Thank you guys so much. I think you guys can head out. Rachel, Holly, Megan, I know you've all got stuff going on, right, Dr. Schneider-Klein? Like they can.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much for joining, you guys. I really appreciate it.
But personally, it's so good to see you. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, really good. I hope you all are well. You guys don't email me anymore. What? Why? Because you don't need a letter of recommendation yet? What? Megan, like, come on. I'm just kidding. Good to see you guys.
Rachel, I hope your little one's better soon.
Me too.
That's rough.
Keep in touch, though. I mean that.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks. Angelica, anything we can answer for you?
No, I'm okay. I'm just listening in, but I think everyone's gone, right?
Yep, it's just you. Happy to answer any
Okay.
questions you have.
Actually, I did have a question. Do you know how often, I know the classes are asynchronous, What does that look like exactly? Like how many classes, I guess, Zooms or Canvas videos do we have to watch throughout the week typically?
Yep,
Totally varies by course, but go ahead, Dr. Grohaus.
I was just going to say all of them. No, we have like most of us submit like our plan, and you get the information about the course the minute the course opens, so you can plan for that. And as I mentioned before, a lot of us will post all the information ahead of time and have recorded lectures. But what I like to do is record the live lectures as well in case there's other things that come up. But you will have all of that usually in advance, and you can kind of work through the course. But we ask that you let us know if something's coming up or if you have some difficulties completing things on time. But most of us really are try to get out in front of everything and give you as much as we can in a way that we feel is appropriate for you to be able to absorb the information.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I just trying to gaze out how, like, what's the workload gonna look like? Like, how much is it really part-time?
Yeah, it is heavy. I mean, it's graduate coursework, so it is not
Yeah.
your, it's a little different. But I do think you find a groove and figure out how to manage the time and what's expected pretty quickly.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Stop recording.